Hello everybody, I'm Yusuf. Today I'm talking about how to write a classification essay. Okay? What is classification essay? It's a piece of formal composition that represents your ability to categorize, compare specific subset of particular topic. Okay, we can have an example like different kind of communication device. As you remember, when you came here, I'm talking about the first module, we have divided you in 4 different groups, A1, A2, B1, B2. It means that we classified you, okay? Classify means categorize, put you in a different groups based on a factor. We put you in different groups based on your knowledge. And I'm sure that all of you have seen trash bin around you at university, wherever. You put papers, you put, I don't know, bottles, you divide them in different groups and put them in the right place. So classify means categorize, put something in its own place. But please, just focus on one factor. We put you according to your knowledge of English. We didn't put you based, I don't know, on your nationality, based on, I don't know, your way, whatever. So in classification, we should consider one factor and we should divide in different groups. So let's go to organization of our essay. As you know, in a different kind of essay, we normally have 5 paragraphs. First of all, we should identify groups and explain our criteria for organization or categorization. Then we should develop our class or support it and make comparison if there is. And then we should finish by summarizing. So if you can see here, we have 5 paragraphs. The first one will be introductory paragraph or introduction 1. In introduction 1, we should introduce it, we should talk about the purpose of our essay, and of course we should have thesis statement. We normally bring thesis statement at the end of paragraph 1. So again, I focus, paragraph 1 will be our introduction. We will talk generally, and then we will have thesis statement. Okay? Paragraph number 2, 3, 4 will be our body paragraph. What does it mean, body paragraph? Normally in body paragraphs, of course, always, we should have topic for the first sentence. Each body paragraph has its own topic sentences. And in this kind of paragraph, I mean paragraph number 2, 3, 4, which we call them body paragraph, we should support our idea. We should explain the criteria, we should talk about the strengths or weakness of our work, and of course we should have some example. Always we use some example and explanation to defend our body paragraph. So we have 3 topic sentences, and we will put them in paragraph number 2, 3, 4, and then we will defend them. And of course I will talk about them later. Our last paragraph will be conclusion 1. In conclusion paragraph, first of all, we should have a summary, and then we can have our final thought as a final thought, okay? So, in conclusion, normally we have thesis restatement. What is thesis restatement? Thesis restatement is our thesis. We should tell it in another words. We should tell it according to our own words, but it should be loyal. It means that you shouldn't change whatever you had in your thesis statement. You should use your own word, but you should be loyal to the thesis statement. You cannot add another class. It's better to say you cannot add another class category. Okay? So, like all kind of essay and paragraph, first of all we should do brainstorming. What is brainstorming? Brainstorming, if you do it, you will bombard with lots of vocabulary, and it is very good for writing. For brainstorming, in brainstorming part, you think about different words, what comes to your mind, you can write on a piece of paper. Today we are discussing about different types of psychological study available for you as a university student. Okay, so again I insist that we are talking about different type, different class, different category of university student. Of course we are talking about psychological part. So we have three categories here. The first type of a student will be clinical psychology, second one psychiatry, and the last one neuroscience. As I told you before, the first paragraph will be our introduction. First of all, we should introduce our topic, then we should have thesis statement. Let me read it. Students considering a career in psychology have several career options for when they graduate. It is general idea. It is general thought. Before a student consider applying to a graduate school in psychology, it helps to understand the three main types of psychological inquiry and to pursue an appropriate program. Okay, if you look at here, we have this sentence. The three main categories for a person who is interested in psychology include counseling and clinical psychology, psychiatry, and neuroscience. As I told you before, we should have thesis statement here. I read our thesis statement again. Three main categories for a person who is interested in psychology, including counseling and clinical psychology, psychiatry, and neuroscience. These three are our three categories. Okay, we need them. We need to discuss about them in our body paragraphs one by one, and we cannot add anything else. Okay, let's go to the body paragraph number 1. As I told you, the first one was counseling and clinical psychology. We should define it in our topic. Refers to the branch of psychology that works directly with people with the goal of helping them with problems or mental health issue. This is our topic sentence. This is our topic sentence, okay? And now we need to clarify it. We need to support it. We need to defend it. How? We can have some examples. We can have some definitions. Even we can have some statistics. Of course, we don't have a statistic here. We can have some examples here. Examples of counseling psychology jobs include being a counselor at a school or having a private counseling or life coaching practice. Clinical psychologists tend to work more in a clinical setting such as mental health institute or research different mental health issues like bipolar disorder. Again, we have some example of disease. There are many different theoretical approaches to the work of counseling and clinical psychology, including psychoanalysis in the Freudian tradition, cognitive behavior therapy, or positive psychology. A student who wishes to become a counseling or clinical psychologist can apply for a master or PhD program. So, we defined it, we had some example, and of course, we introduced some major as well. Let's go to body paragraph number 2. As you remember, the second one was psychiatry. Psychiatry referred to the branch of psychology that focus on pharmacological intervention to mental health issue. This is our topic, and now again we should defend it, we should expand it. For example, a psychiatric would prescribe antidepressant or antipsychotic to patients who have been diagnosed or with a clinical mental health disorder. Psychiatrists work with the clinical and other type of psychologists, but rarely provide the talking therapy, is a kind of therapy that a counselor would provide. Also, psychiatry can be combined with the other type of psychology. It is a special area of study that requires attendance in a medical school, which is student of psychology need to know whether the field is right for them. Psychiatrists specialize in prescribing the latest research-based medication and intervention that other psychologists cannot prescribe. As I told you, we should define it, we should clarify it. We should talk about different branch, okay? So, and of course we use some example as well here. In different body paragraph, first we put our topic, then we will talk about it. Let's talk about the last one, of course the last body paragraph, neuroscience. What is neuroscience? In the topic we should tell what is neuroscience. Neuroscience is a branch of psychology that is focused on the study of human brain. Again, for example, a neuroscientist might study the effect of anger on the release of brain chemical or hormones in the brain. A neuroscientist might also study the effect of specific drug on brain. Neuroplasticity is another field unique to neuroscience. Often neuroscience is combined with cognitive psychology to study how the brain and mind interact, whether it is possible to learn more about human consciousness. Unlike other type of the psychology, neuroscience will involve working directly with people, which is why a student who wants to become a neuroscientist will need to be comfortable in a laboratory environment. So, as you can see here, we have topic, then we have some examples here, and we defined it. After that, we should go to the conclusion part. As you know, in the conclusion part, we should talk about whatever we have talked so far, and then we should have our thesis restatement. If you can see here, psychology can be divided into the three main fields: counseling or clinical psychology, number one, number two, psychiatry, and number three, neuroscience. It is our thesis restatement. As I told you before, you cannot add any other category or branch. It should be that three. If you want to add something else, it is not possible. You should talk about three things that we discussed before. Okay? Each of these fields offer exciting possibility for the student interest in psychology. However, before applying to graduate school, the student should research each of these career categories to make appropriate decision. Here, I didn't put a question. You can even add a question. You can even add a question as your final thought. Okay? So we have thesis, and we should talk about it, and we should bring our final thought as well. Okay. The useful languages that you can use here, the common one, the first kind, the second one, the third one. Okay, for each category you can use them. The first type, the second type, and the third type. Okay, let's talk about your homework. For your homework for next session, you should write an essay. It is about classifying commuters on a bus or train. First of all, you should do brainstorming. Then you should bring your thesis statement. Then you should have your topic sentence as number one. Then you should talk about details. Then you should have your topic sentence number two. Then you need to talk about the details and topic sentence number three and details, and then you can have the conclusion. You should do the outlining, and you should write essay. Again, I insist, this is your homework. Classify commuters on bus or train. Thank you everyone for watching us. Stay home, stay safe.